Hey,
Hey, wake up!
we seem to be effed in the A. Rather hard. Feels nice. I mean, what? I like dick
You
some
alright?
ass. What? Yes, I'm fine. Especially because I have dick some ass. Okay, I'm done for at least the next 5 seconds. Yep, you.
Yeah, more or less.
Good to hear.
Looks like this ain't no dream.
You know, more than really any other game protagonist I've ever played, played as. I feel like, okay, all these protagonists are made for you to be able to just kind of put yourself in their shoes, right? Because they're not much of a character, but his situations, what he's going through, I resonates with me a little more than any other Persona protagonist. A lot of the others, not because I'm a criminal or I have a record. Well, he's not technically a criminal. He didn't actually break the law. It's just that a dickhead with too much sway decided to bend the law in order to get him arrested, which I'm sure happens a lot in real life, sadly. However, um, the way people treat him, the outcast thing, I've had a lot of communication issues, attention issues, a lot of strange tendencies that kind of and a lot of tendencies that are not really socially acceptable, but also not things that are easy for me to control at all. There's a lot of things that add up to make me feel as outcast as as he clearly is in his school. Like, especially when we actually get to school and you see him walking around, you will see that everyone pretty much, most people seem to just take one look at him and go, "Oh, he's the bad guy. I'm gonna stay away from him," because, you know, I mean, I can really actually empathize with people fearing you, but only because I had huge um, outburst problems when I was in, you know, all of school, and I still kind of have them. Sometimes I will just get very angry, and most of the time, the cause doesn't really seem to be that apparent, at least right away. And a lot of times it's literally just a buildup of a lot of things that happened in a small amount of time that to many people are not enough to be that angry, but to me it just is. And I become very angry, yelly, you know, physical, the works. I've hit people like that. I'm ashamed, but I've thrown things. It's just, it does not take very much sometimes. It really depends on the day and my mood and when things have been happening, and etc. for me to kind of fly off the damn handle way too suddenly for most people, and it's beyond an anger issue. I think it's anger triggered by extreme amounts of anxiety and other negative emotions that collect in me due to things that most people seem to be a little better equipped to deal with initially. However, I've learned to deal with those things since high school, but I'm 25 years old. In high school, I was about as avoided as this guy was because of just how I was back then. So I really, 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 really identify with this protagonist's situation. And this game is like this nice little comfy blanket to me sometimes because I feel this dude probably more than I've ever felt a game protagonist before. That has any real established stuff about them that I didn't make up myself, because that's why I often play a lot of the Western RPGs and the few Japanese ones that and enjoy the heck out of them that allow you to create your own character essentially. I always do this thing. I always do the single player though. I'm not too much of an MMO person. Used to be the competitiveness and the gamer culture and the pressure and the toxicity is just no. I don't want to have anything to do with online gaming anymore. That's kind of why I'm doing this, because I wanted to be able to kind of share my games with people and also these kinds of thoughts too, and just have deep conversations over games, because I feel like a lot of gamers tend to hide from life. I've never been like, well, okay, I hide from life, but I don't hide from my mind. I can't hide from my mind. I realized a long time ago I can't hide from my mind. I want to teach gamers not to hide from their minds, basically. I feel like a lot of us do that. I used to. Years and years have passed, and at this point, I know I can't, and I try my best not to. But sometimes it still happens. However, sometimes hiding from your mind for a little bit, and realizing you gotta get back after figuring yourself out a little more, and exploring yourself, and having those conversations you don't want to have, and sussing out those thoughts you don't really want to pay attention to. But if you pay enough attention to them, they literally become nothing. They don't hurt you anymore. But doing that enough takes a lot of hurt initially, but it always pays off in the long run. Regardless, rambly Durgan aside, let's get back to the game. Again, guys, this is going to happen a lot, because this game brings up a lot of things for me that to a lot of you may not even seem related to the game, but a lot of things, and I want a place to talk about them, and this seems like a great outlet to do so. So, this is for me, and for anyone that might be helped by it. And I'm just gonna do it because this really helps me to just vent about this somewhere, Anywho, back to the game. Looks like this ain't no dream.
Yeah, what's going on? Hey, let us out of here. I know there's someone out there.
By the way, the voice acting, the sound design, it really just continues
Some kind of TV set?
to pull me in very easily to the game. I love it. By the way, before I forget, I certainly intend to shorten those rambles and put them in better places, but for now, I'm just working on finding the balance that feels right, and, some of y'all may have feedback for me once, I get a real audience of any real size rolling, and, at this point, I think I'm gonna do it, because I'm gonna keep improving and expanding my content and making more, and I'm sure I have a lot to say that would at least interest a lot of people, and I'm sure I have mannerisms and humor and etc. that I know some people do find great. A lot of people have talked to me and said that they love talking to me, and so I'm certain that I have a lot to offer people that I can offer through this platform on YouTube and on streams and on the internet in general. So I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna keep working at streamlining it so that I'm playing more game and rambling less. And I might make a few videos that are more rambly so that I get kind of a lot of that out here, outside of the Let's Plays. Maybe we'll see. But I just feel like organically doing this is just a lot easier for me than planning anything. I hate planning. Planning anything at all is just so darn stressful for me. It almost feels like my best work always happens spontaneously, no matter what the hell it is. So, there's that too. But regardless, damn it, where are we? Is this some kind of TV set? Ow! That scream sounded a bit too real for a TV set. I literally felt that man's pain. I'm not kidding. I had this these tingles and these super intense, spine tingles and just shivers, and I don't know, I just kind of felt the pain in that. Kudos to the voice actor, and I hope he didn't actually have to hurt himself for that, because that was realistic to me. Really, the hell was that just now? Yeah, this is really good voice acting. I bet he had to go through at least a little bit of emotional trauma to get that out. Yeah, apparently, there's a lot of real intense stuff in Cyberpunk 2077, which I will certainly be doing on this channel, no holds barred, absolutely first day. I mean, I've pre-ordered it a long time ago, especially because it's coming out in September now. I'm ready at this point, and I will jump on it the moment it comes out, unless something changes between now and then, but hopefully I'll actually have an audience by then, because, I'm gonna be working on this all year, and September is when it'll come out. But regardless, getting a little off topic from where it was there, Cyberpunk apparently has a lot of these situations where apparently one of the actors really had to take a break because what he was needing to act out was so traumatizing for him, literally. So I'm a little scared to play the game because I tend to be sensitive to that stuff. But at the same time, if it's in the context of a game, I often can deal with it better than if it's in the context of most other types of media. It's interesting because it's like I feel like I have some control over what happens, even if a lot of times I actually don't in the terms of how the game does stuff, or at least I have control over how those things resolve themselves, even if they start out horrible. So I think that's part of what it is. But I deal with this stuff a lot better in games than doing anything else. Like, for example, I've been playing a lot of Disco Elysium, and that game's real depressing. And I guarantee if those things were happening in a show or something, I could not watch it. But I'm really immersed in the game because I have some control over what happens. It's, so regardless. Woe indeed, Ryuji. Woe indeed. Nope, that is a real ass scream, because this place is fucked up. Welcome to Kamoshida's mind. Real fucked up place. Oi. By the way, spoilers, we're in Kamoshida's mind. Wow. This is real bad. Isn't there some way to get out of here? Come on, we gotta do something. Let's see. Yo, there's nothing in there. Alright, let's go. These bars are tougher than they look. Wall with chains. Hey, those chains are used for, like, torturing and stuff, right? Damn it, this shit ain't funny! Huh? You hear that? Huh? You hear that? I'm trying to work on my voice acting skills, Serenis.
Be glad that your punishment has been decided upon.
How about I be glad that you get me the fuck out of here and, like, not punish me? That'd be great, right? Right? I wish.
Your charge is unlawful entry.
Your charge is being a dick. Now fucking go away.
Thus, you will be sentenced to death.
Well, that's fun. For just breaking and entering. That's a bit ridiculous, isn't it?
No one's allowed to do as they please in my castle.
Yep. Well, I guess you really are not wrong in a way that you weren't even meaning, Ryuji. He really is the king of a castle. Literally. In his brain, anyway.
Huh? Wait, is that you, Kamoshida?
Kamoshida.
I thought it was some petty thief, but to think it'd be you, Sakamoto. Are you trying to disobey me again? Looks like you haven't learned your lesson at all, huh? And you brought a friend this time, because you can't do anything for yourself.
Big ouch.
This ain't funny, you asshole!
Is that how you speak to a king? It seems you don't understand the position you're in at all. Not only did you sneak into my castle, you committed the crime of insulting me, the king.
Jesus Christ. So, if y'all are wondering why this castle is so big, it's a representation of his ego. In fact, I'm not surprised if that literally is the reason why this place is so big. Because, like, spoiler alert, by the way. It's mentioned somewhere, I think, in the game. And this might have just been theorized by someone I watched play, but I think it's been mentioned somewhere in the game that these bigger palaces, these bigger, like, places and mementos that come from one person's mind, they are there because that person is so strong in their distortion. And his distortion is most likely his ego, basically, and the things that he obsesses over because his ego is so damn big. And because he needs to keep feeding it because it's so damn big. Or at least he thinks he does. Not only did you sneak into my castle, you committed the crime of insulting me, the king. Wait, whenever I have noticed that I know that a lot of these lines are voice acted, but and I remembered this one was, but it's just a habit, and I think it's actually a good one. Just kind of make sure to get things back on track instead of just skipping to the next line. Because unlike some Let's Players, I most honestly, and I understand why, reading a lot of words aloud is a lot of work, but I really like reading aloud. I want to read every word aloud in every game, even if I play through a game like Disco Elysium, which is like 99% text. I will still play the heck out of, or games like Pillars of Eternity and other Infinity Engine games like that, or Infinity Engine-esque. I don't know if they're actually using the Infinity Engine, but you know what I mean. Those kinds of party-based RPGs, old school CRPGs, basically. I'm definitely going to be doing those at some point here, and I definitely intend to read everything. So, I'm just practicing reading everything out loud in a clear and concise way, and voice act things well, at least tonally, etc. That kind of a thing. So, yeah. Not only did you sneak into my castle, you committed the crime of insulting me, the king.
The punishment for that is death. It's time for an execution. Take him out.
Now, of course, there's no reason for me to read the voice-acted lines if I'm not stopping in between them like this. And I'm gonna try to push forward through this scene,
Damn it.
at least until the next time I can save before I actually jump on to other things.
I ain't down for this shit. Come on, we're out of here.
Let me pause and figure some stuff out, friendies. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Ah, jeez, well, okay, I was trying to just pause the game, but I mean, I guess it's fine like this. Alrighty, we back, friends. Apologies for wait, hold on. I can log it. Where was I before? I think I was at Stop It. God damn it. I'm not gonna play through those. There we go. I'll play that one, though. I don't think I've done this line. Let me just make sure.
I ain't down for this shit. Come on, we're out of here.
Poor Ryuji.
Just go. Get out of here. These guys are serious.
Oh, running away, are we? What a heartless friend you are.
There we go. All caught up.
He ain't a friend. Come on, hurry up and go.
What's the matter? Too scared to run away? Pathetic scum isn't worth my time. I'll focus on this one's execution.
Or you won't, because I'm gonna stop you, motherfucker. By the way, I love this scene for its intensity, and of course the transformation that's gonna happen. I really enjoy this scene a lot.
Lowly scum! Useless pest!
Oof. Ryuji hug. I don't enjoy it because Ryuji's getting pummeled, of course. I enjoy it because of the connotations.
Where'd your energy from?
Not the because of what's about to happen. That's why I enjoy it.
You isn't worth beating.
And what's awesome is later Ryuji becomes a badass.
Killed right now.
Because he gets his own persona. Have you lost your goddamn mind? Spoiler. Hell yes. All these people have. These palace people. That's kind of why they have them.
Dare tell me you don't know who I am. That look in your eyes irritates me.
Well, everything about you irritates me, asshole.
After the peasant, it's his turn to die.
Ryuji Hago. By the way, props to Ryuji's voice actor. He does pissed off Ryuji really well. Because that's like most of his character, so of course he does. But he also does scare Ryuji real well there. Voice acting in Persona games has always been pretty spot on, IMO. Like, a lot of Japanese localizations, a lot of English localizations for Japanese games tend to not have as good voice acting, but Atlas always is spot on about it, somehow. Whoever they're paying to do their English localizations is a really good choice, let me tell you that. I'm sure that's how it works. They pay them to do that. There's these companies that do localizations in countries, and I'm guessing, you know, the company compensates them for that, and either it's probably mostly in like sales of the game, though I don't know how it works. But either way, I know that there are companies in all sorts of countries that do localizations, you know, for games in their country. So regardless. The people doing it for America, good job. And also, you know, English-speaking people in general, of course. Because you know, this same version would be sold in England and blah 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 as well. Anywho, any sort of mainly English-speaking country, and probably a lot of smaller European countries and stuff, where their language isn't probably as rare to be localized. Probably isn't localized very much, and probably, you know, places like South Africa, that's definitely mostly English-speaking, I do believe. Regardless, let's see. It wasn't.
Very well. I have heeded your resolve. Bow to me. I am thou art I. Thou who art willing to perform all sacrilegious acts for thine own justice. Call upon my name and release thy rage. Show the strength of thy will to ascertain all on thine own. Though thou be chained to hell itself.
I love the impact of this scene. That's enough.
What was that? You desire to be killed that much? Fine.
No, I desire to kill you that much. Ah, delicious tea. Tea is good shiznit, by the way, friendos. Black tea, bit of honey, good shiznit. Regardless, back to the seriousness of this scene. I love the animation here. Especially right about here. This, I have to look away for this every time, though. Can't really deal with gore very well. And this isn't even bad gore, but it's enough for me to not really be able to see it very easily. Like, ripping skin is one of the most things to me. And whilst, that mask isn't skin, it's like grafted onto his skin, so he has to rip it out, so it's like ripping out skin. So yeah, no. Not really for me, dog. But I think it's kind of akin to the Persona 3, you have to hold a gun to your head and shoot it in order to summon your Persona thing. It's like, it's a similar thing. You have to, but see, this game is all about, figuratively, at least partly, the mask that we hide under. And that's why the masks thing is so much of a thing. Pillar of Twilight. Sen, I love all of the introductions for people's personas. So badass. Especially Makoto's. If y'all don't know which that one is. And by the way, she's my favorite. My absolute best girl. She is the best grill to the Durgan. I fucking love this song. I'm sorry I'm talking over this, but really want to make sure that you guys know how much I love this song, and also the subtitles are right there. But now I'm gonna let Arson talk for himself. Give me your power.
Very well.
Who the hell are you? Guard! Start by killing that one.
Or dying to that one, in this case.
Strength of my men.
Yes, I will, and it will not impress me at all. Hehehehe. Let me check something real quick, Arini. Yep, okay, no. Using skills. You can use skills by pressing the triangle button during your turn. Using a skill will consume a set amount of HP or SP.
Persona! There!
Swing your blade.
Melee attacks. During your turn, select the target and press the X button to perform a melee attack with your currently equipped melee weapon. Melee attacks are not particularly strong, but they do not consume any HP or SP upon use. They're good finishers, especially because they don't consume anything. You can save a bit of your HP and SP that way.
Kill them however you want. Run wild to your heart's content.
At least that's how I tend to use them. And sometimes if I know the enemy's weak, I just stab them to death. It works. Or shoot them to death, because that's the thing later. I love the guns mechanic in this game, IMO. I try to use them probably a bit more than it's necessary. And I love the way that guns work in this game, and how useful they are for knocking opponents down, and that some are weak to guns. It's beautiful. Nice. 22 XP, 298 yen, and no items. But I got a level! Now for the leveling tutorial!
I leveled up.
Or not, yeah, I think you don't pick skills or anything in this game. My brain thought about that for a second, I was like, nah, like, Persona isn't one of those, not really. Because you get new skills and stuff by getting new Personas in this game. But I've been playing a lot of games where, you know, the traditional Western RPG formula of, like, you level up, you choose skills and things. But regardless, Arenio, I feel even stronger. My max HP and SP went up. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Nice!
What?
Nice, 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 nice.
What was that just now?
It was a whole lot of violence and surreal shiznit, friendo. It's probably the only way that it's really describable to y'all right now. I like this song too. The whole soundtrack is good. I'm literally just swaying back and forth in my chair. I'm loving this song. I love the whole soundtrack. It's fucking good. Okay.
You like that, you son of a bitch?
Hehehe. Lock the cell.
You mean this?
I'm actually gonna raise the sound level of the game because I feel like it's probably a little low. I didn't really realize that before. I'm gonna even it up because my mic is seeming to hit larger peaks, and we'll see how this works.
Hey, what was that just now? And your clothes. Whoa, it went back to normal.
You bastards!
God, this is effing nuts.
Yep.
Anyways, let's scram. You lead the way.
Goddamn thieves! After them! Don't let them escape! Damn you!
Bastards. You think you can get away with doing this to me? Yeah, it seems like I'm getting away already. I don't give a shit. I ain't down for any of this. Come on, let's get out of here. By the way, menu. I cannot save things. RIP.
All right.
So, I'm not actually going to take a break right now. I mean, I could just literally just... Because the PS4 is magic. I love the way the PS4 allows you to just kind of pause the game without pausing the game, but... I kind of want to just get to a save point, because I'm probably going to quit for a little bit after this. Quit for a bit. Higgity, schniggity, bit, rit. Anywho. Think we can jump across? Yes, we can. Special actions. You can press the X button at certain locations in a dungeon to perform special actions, like jumping across these gaps here. Very nice. Whee!
Yeah.
Alright, we can keep going this way. Alright, we can keep going this way. You know, just practicing inflection that makes sense for the current situation. To the Durgan ears and brain. Dude, you better not fall. I'm working on it. I'm being careful. All that execution shit, is he serious? Yeah, he is. That's the scariest thing. Alright. We're gonna sell? Yep. But we can crawl through here.
Whoa!
Crap, my bag's stuck. But thankfully got out okay. That's good, that's good, that's good. Alright. I'm pretty sure there's no loot and stuff here, so we need to just keep going.
Whoa!
Hey, hold up! Look, there's some guys in armor over there. They'll probably call for backup if we try to take him on. We should go some other way. Alrighty then.
Oh,
Is this a drawbridge? Yep, looks like it.
and again.
Dude, the hell is this place? Yeah, be my reaction too. There's no one in here. Come on, we're supposed to be looking for an exit right now. Alright, so...
No way, man.
Dude, this is obviously not the exit.
Whoa!
Hey, we gotta hide. Over there. They're looking for us, right? I ain't playing along with this anymore. We gotta find a way to get out of this goddamn place. There we go. If this goes up, you think it hits the exit? Well, let's hope so. Certainly hoping, I'm sure, my main character is. Is this the exit? Hey, let's get the hell out of this place! Dun, 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 dun. Dude, you gotta be joking. This ain't the exit? The hell is this place? Dun, 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 dun.
Hell?
Another prison cell? Hey, look. We really did hear people screaming, so we ain't the only ones who got captured. Is he okay? Yeah, it doesn't look like it, sadly. Poor guy.
Huh?
There's something up there. A bridge? And a statue? Even here? Wait, where's our volleyball in the cell? Because he's basically holding the volleyball team's prisoner like his fucking slaves.
What the hell?
It's a caricature of what he's doing to him in real life, basically. Like, this whole place is. I love, you know, this game really has a special way of going about imagery on how a person thinks about stuff. Like, you get into these people's minds and you basically see a visual representation of how they see the world. And it's beautiful how, if you really think about it, there's more imagery there on the, you know, than there seems to be on the surface, actually. It's pretty amazing. Even stuff that's spelled out, there's stuff beyond that. It's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense, you know? Damn it, how the hell are we supposed to get out of there? Get out of here. Hey, you there.
Hey,
Blondie, frizzy hair, look over here. And here we meet
What is this thing?
best kitty cat. He's the only kitty cat in the game, but he's still the best one. I don't know if he's the only cat in the game, but he's still a good-ass cat. IMO. I know a lot of people think Morgana's annoying, but I have more tolerance for these kind of characters than a lot of people do. It's probably why I never even hated Teddy. Honestly, hating characters is a hard thing for me to do unless they're villains and do a lot of bad shit to the protagonist specifically, like on a personal level, and are just clearly douchebags of people. Those are the characters I hate. I can't bring myself to hate annoying characters that nonetheless clearly are on our side and are not trying to be completely utter dicks to us. Now, there's parts where I really don't like what Morgana's doing later in the story, but I understand why they happen, and it's a good character arc for him. And I like Morgana, and I like Teddy, and I like all these annoying mascot characters. I really always do. And it's a trope a lot of people don't like, but I love it, honestly. These characters are often comic relief, and they're fun, and they're interesting, and I just kind of like some of Morgana's snark in particular, for sure. Regardless.
You're not soldiers of this castle, right? Get me out of here! Look, the key's right there!
And you know, a lot of people, including me, I'm gonna raise my hand here, thought that, Morgana was a girl at first, but now that I'm listening to his voice again, I've gotten so acclimatized to it. It really does sound like a boyish, like a little boy voice to me. That's what they were going for. But it could also sound girlish. But really, I can't hear it any other way than boyish right now. I just realized that. But before, that wasn't really the case. I thought it was more girlish. It's interesting. It took a while to grow on me and make me realize, okay, yeah, this is a boyish voice. I don't know, it's interesting.
We're trying to get the hell out of here. I mean, you obviously look like an enemy too.
I'm locked up here, so how can I be your enemy? Help me out!
A cat? And here we go.
I am not a cat! Say that again and I'll make you regret it!
I honestly find this so hilarious, his whole insistence he's not a cat thing.
They're catching up already. Shit, there's still no service. Ain't there any way to contact someone outside? How the hell do we get out?
Hey, you too! Wanna know where the exit is? Let me out, and I'll take you there. You don't want to get caught and executed, right?
Better not be lying.
I'm not lying. It's the truth.
This thing sounds like it's all talk.
If you guys think you can get out on your own, then be my guest.
What do we do?
Well, we have to make a decision right now.
If you don't hurry, they'll catch you.
Fine.
Freedom tastes so great.
Now where's the exit, you monster cat?
Don't call me a cat. I am Morgana.
The name doesn't help either. It really doesn't. Morgana is literally a name in a female is literally a female character name in many things. So that doesn't really help. However, I love him. He's a good character. With the everyone thinking he's a female at first thing, for sure.
Oh, all right. Sheesh. Follow me and stay quiet.
Jeez.
It's fourth period already. Sakura-san said that Durgan-kun left the house this morning. Should I contact the police? No, that'll just be more of a hassle. What'd I do to deserve this? Maybe you should worry less about what you did and more about the fact that a student might be missing. You fucking... I really don't like I really don't like Kawakami until she starts to understand us later. See, that's the thing. I get really heated if... Especially in this game, I've realized. I tend to get really heated if characters are definitely against our character. Like... But, otherwise... You know, even if it's not in any kind of real, truly antagonistic villainy way, like, I have zero patience for characters that have zero patience for mine, basically. Especially with things like this, where I know, as a player, that he isn't out, like, skipping school on purpose. He really isn't, but she assumed that. And when people assume that kind of shit, it pisses me off, because that was my high school. Literally, people would assume I did the wrong thing, and I never understood that, because it should be clear to most people that 9 times out of 10, if I forget something, or if I don't do something, it's literally, oftentimes, it's either A, I literally just space on it, B, it's not that it's not that I, just don't want to do the thing, it's anxiety, or, you know, other things in my mind were keeping me from doing the thing. You know, everyone's had that. And yes, I still dropped the ball because of those things, but it's different than I don't care, I don't want to do this. Like, oftentimes it didn't help that I would say that, but that wasn't the truth. It was I was terrified to turn in my homework because I thought it was bad. I'm not kidding, that kind of shit's happened before. Or, you know, I really just didn't feel like I could muster the effort to do my work because of shit in my brain, you know, and that kind of thing. But a lot of my teachers decided that I was just lazy, and people need more awareness that a lot of times what's perceived as deliberate laziness because you don't care, a lot of the time it's just not that. It's due to something in someone's mind that isn't letting them do that yet until they are somehow able to circumvent it, or they might not simply be able to do it at that point in time or ever, but thankfully I'm starting to really learn that the ever was just in my head, and it was trying to protect those patterns in my head because they felt like protection for me, for my feelings, for, you know, etc., etc. And so, you know, but like, I don't know, that kind of assumption, especially because this is a high school teacher. I've heard high school teachers say that kind of shit about me. I have overheard that, and that tore me the F up in high school. And there's a bunch of people that have, you know, like, there was this one time at work, and this is the last little personal bit I'm gonna go into before we continue here, but when I had a job in a nursing home as a dishwasher, I remember this one time where there was just something I was forgetting to do, okay? It was just hard for me to remember because I'm scatterbrained, and that's that. And I just have a lot of issues with learning. Like, I learn really, really slow, okay? And, you know, as a dishwasher, you have to be fast. And at that point, I had an extreme complex around being fast. And it's easier for me to be fast about certain things now, but I still have to work at it for a while. And the thing is, back then, I hadn't really developed a lot of the skill sets that I now have for learning things. Because I developed those after that job, after learning that, after like, basically having no choice but to figure that stuff out in order to not feel like a complete piece of crap and never try anything again, because I didn't want to stoop to that level, but I was right there. I was about to just give up on trying anymore, to like be more than I am at that point, but I'm already more than I was at that point. So basically, but at that time, the thing is, a lot of the people, I remember several times where people said things behind my back. There was this one, like, again, like, there was this one time where I was forgetting one specific thing that I, you know, that it's the right way to do it, I just kept forgetting, okay? And I remember him having a conversation with one of the other people, being mad, you know, him meaning one of the people that were training me. And, you know, I remember that conversation, like, just right behind my back, loud enough for me to hear, of them just going, well, why is this wrong? Well, you know, we keep telling him, but he's just not doing it. It's like, and I turned around and I asked, hey, well, what are you talking about? And I knew what they were talking about. I just didn't want to interject and be like, hey, I'm just having trouble with that, I apologize. And I feel like I should have done that at the time, and that might have maybe put myself in their graces a bit better. Either way, you know, it's not like I got fired from that job or anything. I actually had to leave due to other circumstances with my family. However, I still felt really unwelcome there. I still felt like they were waiting for a chance to fire me, because most of them seemed to just hate me because I was slow. And probably thought me real lazy instead of slow. And, you know, this isn't the same thing. Of course, this is assumed delinquent behavior, but I've had that too. Tons of times. Now, yes, I've also been a delinquent, but most of the times that people thought I was being a delinquent, those weren't the times I was doing it. In fact, those times were much less than the times then that I wasn't, that people assumed that I ever did anything truly illegal or truly, you know, what or I truly did something akin to what they were thought. A lot of times people will see someone do something one time and decide that every time it looks like that might be the case again, that must be it. But no, humans are much more complicated than that, people. Please fucking understand that. Regardless, let's keep going. Oh, well, I guess we gotta follow it. By the way, can I save now? Can I, like... I can't even open the menu, never mind.
Come on, man.
Hold up, we're gonna get caught if we go back that way, you know? I can't save, can I? I kinda wanna check something real quick. Oh yeah, that's right, we have to do the statue thing.
Hey.
Gonna check something real quick before I continue with this.